Celebrities may seem to have easy jobs, showing up on stage and belting out songs or soliloquies, but these long hours often take a toll on their bodies and their personal relationships. Unfortunately, a select few celebrities have even learned that their jobs are risky enough to have tragic ends. Throughout history, things like exhaustion from working long hours, on-stage accidents, and in some cases, violence have all had deadly consequences. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some celebrities who devoted so much time to their art that they tragically died in the middle of a performance. Tyrone Power. Tyrone Edmund Power III was the son of esteemed actor Tyrone Power Sr., who was more known by his friends and family simply as Fred. His father's bloodline was filled with Irish actors, and Tyrone Power was determined to carry on his family's legacy from a young age. After graduating high school, he studied acting under his father's wing. Relatively quickly, he became a celebrated theatrical performer and later a popular Hollywood actor too. He often played romantic lead roles as well as swashbucklers. Some of his most famous films include The Black Swan, The Mark of Zorro, and Nightmare Alley. In 1958, he was working on the film Solomon and Sheba. He was already 75% finished with most of his scenes and was filming one of his last scenes in November. He and longtime friend and co-star George Sanders were filming a dueling scene. In the middle of the scene, however, Tyrone suffered a massive heart attack and died later that night when he was just 44 years old. His wife, Deborah Power, was already 7 months pregnant with their son and was left tragically widowed. Harry Einstein. Harry Einstein was a famous comedian and character actor with a penchant for performing Greek dialect comedy. Professionally, he was often known as Harry Park or Park Your Carcass, a pseudo-Greek pun on the phrase park your carcass. Between 1936 and 1945, his comedy became so well known, he appeared in a total of 11 films as his character Park Your Carcass or a close variant of it. Then in 1945, he started his own radio show called Meet Me at Parky's, which aired for 3 seasons. It featured his character, Nick Parkyakakis, a Greek chef who ran his own restaurant. Sadly, Einstein struggled with heart disease for many years, which limited his activity levels, so mostly he attended roasts instead of acting in films. In 1958, he attended a roast for Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. Right after he finished delivering his roast, he collapsed into the lap of fellow actor and comedian Milton Berle. He died later that night from a heart attack. Leonard Warren. Leonard Warren was a legendary baritone opera singer who was renowned for his vocal range and power. On March 4, 1960, he performed in the show La Forza del Destino. He began performing an aria whose opening line was Morir tremenda cosa, which translates to die, a momentous thing, and after finishing the aria, he fell down face forward and began crying for help. He died at that moment of a massive heart attack. He was 48. Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall was born in Australia, the son of 2 actors. When he was just 3, he began appearing in a number of Australian films, including The Mystery of the Black Pearl and The Strangler's Grip. Then in 1914, at age 5, his parents moved to America to further their careers. At age 15, Alan began performing on Broadway. After being discovered by a talent scout, he was cast in a variety of Hollywood films as well as TV shows. His last performance was in the production Sextet, where he acted alongside Mae West in Chicago. He suffered a huge heart attack during the show, but managed to finish the production. Later, however, he was discovered dead in his hotel. He was 52. Joseph E. Howard. Joseph E. Howard was a legendary composer, lyricist, and singer, and he helped compose numerous Broadway plays and even helped write the hit song Hello, My Baby. His career began as a singer when he was just 11, and he continued to work in theater and music for 8 decades. After a long and prolific career, however, he died while singing the song Let Me Call You Sweetheart during the curtain call of a performance at age 91. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. And stick around because we're going to reveal how a humble local news anchor, Christine Chubbuck, ended up getting on the national news because of her death. Al Kelly. Abraham Kalish, also known by his stage name Al Kelly, was born December 18, 1896. He became well known for his vaudeville comedic performances as well as for his specialty in double talk, where he would mix nonsense words into real sentences to sound smarter. Later on in life, he worked alongside comedians Willie Howard, Ernie Kovacs, and several others. He also appeared on the Soupy Sales show several times when it was filmed in New York. On September 7, 1966, Al Kelly was attending a roast at the Friars Club in New York City. It was one of his favorite venues, and he was well known for attending and performing there. While sitting in the audience, however, he suffered a heart attack and died in the middle of the performance. A memorial service was held the next day, filled with fellow performers and longtime fans. Spade Cooley. Spade Cooley was a man of many talents and was famous as a big band leader, Western swing musician, and actor. His career was going well, but in 1961, he beat his second wife, Ella Mae Evans, to death in front of their daughter Melody. He was nearly sentenced to execution, but after pleading insanity, he was sentenced to life in prison instead. After serving 9 years, he was granted a 72-hour furlough where he was allowed to perform at a benefit concert. His heart and health were failing, however, and during the concert, Cooley reportedly wasn't feeling well. Then, while backstage during intermission, he suffered a heart attack and died. While he wasn't exactly missed, considering how horribly he butchered his wife, he was a talented performer who could have done so much more with his life if he had chosen a different path. Kenneth Horne. Kenneth Horne was a British businessman and comedian. He was best known for his work on a variety of BBC radio shows, including Beyond Our Ken, Round the Horne, and Much Binding in the Marsh. Even though much of his work took place between the 40s and 60s, he's still considered one of the most popular comedic radio show hosts in Britain. In 1958, Kenneth suffered from a stroke, and he had to slow down his career to maintain his health for a while. Still, he had big plans with other radio hosts, and after Beyond Our Ken wrapped up, he began to work on Round the Horne. The show lasted for 4 seasons, and plans were being made for a 5th. Those were cut short, however, by tragic circumstances. On February 14, 1969, Horne was asked to host the annual Guild of Television Producers and Directors Awards. He died of a heart attack partway through the show. Leslie Harvey. Leslie Harvey, also known as Les Harvey, was a Scottish guitarist who performed alongside his brother, Alex Harvey. Les was in several bands, including the Alex Harvey Soul Band, the Blues Council, and Cartoon. Most famous, however, was the band Stone the Crows, which he founded alongside his brother in 1969. Before founding the band, he joined the band The Blues Council, which separated in 1965 after tragedy struck. Their touring van crashed, killing 2 members. Sadly, this wasn't the only tragedy that would befall Les Harvey. Stone the Crows performed for 3 years, but in 1972, Les Harvey began to sing into a microphone that wasn't grounded. He was electrocuted and tragically killed in the middle of the performance. Christine Chubbuck. Christine Chubbuck only became a celebrity after her horrifying death. Chubbuck worked as a news reporter in Florida. In her 30s, she was depressed because she didn't have many friends and had an even harder time developing romantic relationships. She was hopelessly in love with one of her fellow news reporters, but later found out he was involved with a different news reporter at the studio. On July 15, 1974, Christine Chubbuck insisted she open the Suncoast Digest newscast even though she had never read for it before. The other employees allowed her to read it. Everything started out normal until she said TV40 presents what is believed to be a television first, in living color and exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide. She then shot herself on live TV, becoming the first person to do so. She was only 29 years old, and her death serves as a sad reminder of what can happen when mental illness and depression are left untreated. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these deaths was the most shocking to you? Let us know in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.